ሰላም ሰላም፣ እንዴት ዋላችሁ? ሰላም ናችሁ ወይ? ውድ ጓደኞቼ፣ የዩቲዩብ ቤተሰቦቼ፣ የአረቦችን ግፍ እንወጣዋለን። አባያችን እያለቀ ነው። ዛሬ ማን ነው ደስ ያለው? በኢንጂነር ዶክተር ስለሺ ንግግር አረቦች የተንጨረጨሩበት። እኛ ግን ደስታችን ነው። ዋጋችንን እንደው ደማችን እንዳፈሰሱ በየሀገሪቱ ዋጋ እንዳስከፈሉን ገና ሂሳብ እንወራረዳለን ከአረቦቹ ጋር። ግድ የለም ሁሉንም ጨምረን ጨፍልቀን እንድንናገራቸው አድርገውናሉ። በተለይ የሳውዲ የቤይሩት በየቦታ ወገኖቻችንን ተሰቅሎ ያለቁ ገና ሂሳብ እንወራረዳለን። ገና አረቦቹ መቻያችሁና ነው። ገና ብዙ 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 እዳ አለባችሁ መክፈል የማትችሉት። ብዙ ነገር ትፈልጋላችሁ ከኛ ገና ምን አያችሁ? እናንተ አላችሁ
السد سدنا. شكرا أيها الأبطال على صوت صدحت به حناجركم الذهبية، وذلك دفاعا عن وطننا الحبيب إثيوبيا. بأصواتكم وسواعدكم نبني الوطن إن شاء الله، فدمتم ذخرا للوطن وفخرا على مر الزمن. نهضتنا سدنا وسدنا سيادتنا، ولن يجد الأشقاء منا ضررا. نعم، السد سدنا. شكرا أيها الأبطال على صوت صدحت به وذلك دفاعا عن وطننا الحبيب إثيوبيا. بأصواتكم وسواعدكم نبني الوطن إن شاء الله، فدمتم ذخرا للوطن وفخرا على مر الزمن. نهضتنا سدنا وسدنا سيادتنا، ولن يجد الأشقاء منا ضررا. نعم، እንድትረዱት የምፈልገው ሌሎች ኃይሎች በኢትዮጵያ ክብርና ጥቅም ከመጣችሁ አንገቴ ይቀላል እንጂ አይደረግም። እሱ በመጠምዘዝ የሚሆን ነገር የለም። ተላላኪ መንግስት ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ አይፈጠርም።
ትክክል።
እንድትረዱት የምፈልገው ሌሎች ኃይሎች በኢትዮጵያ ክብርና ጥቅም ከመጣችሁ አንገቴ ይቀላል እንጂ አይደረግም። እሱ በመጠምዘዝ የሚሆን ነገር የለም። ተላላኪ መንግስት ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ አይፈጠርም። ሀገሬ ገና ታብባለች። ገና እግዚአብሔር ገና ከፍ ያደርጋታል። እዜን የባሌን ሀደር ይሳላ ሀግ መስሪን ያኒ እዜን የመስሪን ካፉ ምን አላ ዜን ልስተ እነሳከት ወለ ሸይ ማከለም ነው ወለ ሸይ ልስተ ማሹፍቱ ሸይ ያኒ ልስተ ብተከር ኩል ሸይ በስ እነማን ካፍ ምን መስሪ ወለ ምን ኤሃድ በስ እንካፍ ምን አላ ምን ረብና እንካፍ ምን አላ በስ ማን ካፍ ምን والله لازم إثيوبيا كل يوم أنتوا تعرفون ترى صح؟ حتى طالعن طلعنا من بلدنا زين ما نخاف من أي أحد. إثيوبيا ما يخاف من أي أحد، بس نخاف من الله ربنا نخاف منه. زين لسه ما شفتوا شيء.
ባዶ እግራችሁን ከነ ልጆቻችሁ እንደላኳችሁ ሸስሚ ዋጋ ይከፍላሉ እነሱ። በጣም ነው የምወዳችሁ። ኮንግራጁሌሽን በኢትዮጵያ ያላችሁ በሙሉ። ጉዳያችን በአፍሪካ ይታያል፣ ሶልቭ ይደረጋል። ይሄ ፌር አይደለም። ለዚህ ደሃ ሀገር አሁን እየተደረገባት ያለው ሳቦታጅ ትክክል አይደለም፣ አይገባም። አሁንም እስከ መጨረሻው ድረስ እንታገላለን። እስከ መጨረሻው ድረስ ከደም ጠብታ ድረስ እንታገላለን። መኪና ውስጥ ሆኜ ነው ይህን ነገር ማስተላልፈው። ሼር አድርጉት። በአረብ ሀገር ያላችሁ ወንድሞቼ እህቶቼ፣ በእስር ቤት የምትማቅቁ ምንም ባላረጋችሁት ነገር እርጉዞች፣ እቺ ያለቀስናት የጮንባት ጊዜ ዘመን ቆጥሮ እግዚአብሔር ለእኛ ለኢትዮጵያኖች ቀን ያመጣል እና ዛሬ በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል። ኢሞሽናል ስለሆንኩኝ ነው። ወንድ ልጅ ካሜራ ፊት አያለቅስም፣ እኛ አናለቅስም። እንዲሁ ህጻናቶችን ሳይና ባዶ እግራቸውን ስላየውን ያለቀስኩት። እኛ ኢትዮጵያኖች ይህን ዲዘርቭ አናደርግም፣ ግን እያንዳንዷን ዋጋ ትከፍላላችሁ።
ገና ምን አዩና
አረብ ሀገር
እንዳቃጠሉ
ያላችሁ ኢትዮጵያ ብዙ 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 መልካም የሆኑ ለእናንተ እንደ ባሪያ እዛ እየመጡ የሚሰሩላችሁ ናይስ ኢትዮጵያኖች ናቸው ያሉት። ብታውቁበት እነዚህ ኢትዮጵያኖች ባላንገላታችሁ ነበር። ሳውዲ አረቢያ በጣም ፌር ያለው ነገር ነው መሰሪው። ይሄ ደግሞ የግብፅ የሱዳን የነዚህ ሴራ እንደሆነ እናውቀዋለን። ቀን ይወጣልናል እኛም ለማለት ነው። በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል። ባዶ እግራችሁን ከነ ልጆቻችሁ እንደላኳችሁ ሸስሚ ዋጋ ይከፍላሉ እነሱ። በጣም ነው የምወዳው።
ተቃጥለን እንዳለቅን አንቀራለን። ገና ትቃጠላላችሁ።
Which is not the first of its kind in Africa or in the world. We are building a reservoir to store water that will generate electricity by heating turbines. For your information, the GERD reservoir is 2.5 times smaller than that of the Aswan Dam in Egypt. Perhaps what puts the GERD in distinction from other projects is the extent of hope and aspirations it generated for 65 million Ethiopians that have no access to electricity. It is also unique because the construction of this $5 billion dam is financed by the blood, tears, and sweat of ordinary Ethiopians. The GERD is a right dam built at the right place for the betterment of people in the broader region. Our unfortunate inability to utilize the Nile River so far is deeply embedded in the psychology of our people. Two famous Ethiopian proverbs underscore this point. Gowwan bishaan keessa dhaabbatee eebota, or የአባይን ልጅ ውሃ ጠማው. Both roughly translate to the irony of the tribulations of a poor man who stood in the middle of a river and lamented about experiencing extreme thirst. To change this generational lament, we have nowhere to look but the Abai or Nile basin, in which two-thirds of Ethiopia's water resources is found. In this mighty river, which we share with our neighbors, our people so hope to extricate themselves of darkness and march towards it by building the GERD.
Thank you.
We are dealing with a hydroelectric dam project, which is not the first of its kind in Africa or in the world. We are building a reservoir to store water that will generate electricity by heating turbines. For your information, the GERD reservoir is 2.5 times smaller than that of the Aswan Dam in Egypt. Perhaps what puts the GERD in distinction from other projects is the extent of hope and aspirations it generated for 65 million Ethiopians that have no access to electricity. It is also unique because the construction of this $5 billion dam is financed by the blood, tears, and sweat of ordinary Ethiopians. The GERD is a right dam built at the right place for the betterment of people in the broader region. Our unfortunate inability to utilize the Nile River so far is deeply embedded in the psychology of our people. Two famous Ethiopian proverbs underscore this point. Gowwan bishaan keessa dhaabbatee eebota, or የአባይን ልጅ ውሃ ጠማው. Both roughly translate to the irony of the tribulations of a poor man who stood in the middle of a river and lamented about experiencing extreme thirst. To change this generational lament, we have nowhere to look but the Abai or Nile basin, in which two-thirds of Ethiopia's water resources is found. In this mighty river, which we share with our neighbors, our people so hope to extricate themselves of darkness and march towards it by building the GERD.
እናመሰግናለን ኢንጂነራችን ዶክተራችን በርቱልን። ለጠላቶቻቸው ራስ ምታት ስለሆናችሁ ደስ ብሎናል። ገና 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 አላያችሁትም። ገና ብዙ ታያላችሁ። እኛ እዚህ እናንተ ስታቃጥሉን እናንተንም የሚያቃጥሉ አሉ። ለካ ገና ምን አያችሁ? አረቦች ገና አላያችሁም። ገና 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 ብዙ
Hello, good afternoon. I'm sure the Arabic language media will be more interested on this press briefing. And again, thank you very much. I have here with me Dr. Salashi Bakala, Minister of Water, Irrigation and Energy of Ethiopia. What we're going to do today is that we're going to speak the truth, but in the meantime, we are going to be very prudent and careful in our words. We're going to avoid that perpetual rage and sentiment because we are destined to live together. So having said that, Dr. Salashi, the mic is yours.
Thank you all very much for your interest. And let me say a few words and I'll take your questions later.
Give everything that I got. Wanna get that thing, that upset makes me cool like Chris. What I want.
Get Uno's by Skechers.
As I told the council, perhaps I'm the first water minister addressing the August body on hydroelectric dam that is under scrutiny in the unprecedented and unfair manner here at Security Council. We believe, Ethiopia believes, it is an unfitting use of the time and the resource of the UN Security Council to discuss the Grand Ethiopia Renaissance Dam. Nevertheless, I have voiced the concerns and the just causes of my country, Ethiopia. Let me reiterate that we are dealing here with a hydroelectric dam. We are not building a nuclear plant, which is not the first of its kind in Africa or in the world. The world has many experience on hydroelectric dam. We are building a reservoir to store water that will generate electricity. After heating the turbine, the water continues to flow in the downstream. GERD is actually a people's project. All walks of Ethiopians are contributing to build this dam to bring light home to 65 million people who are currently living in darkness. The Nile belongs to all peoples of the basin countries. In the basin, we have 500 million in 11 riparian countries. Ethiopia generates 77 billion cubic meter water annually, and in fact, 85% of the Nile is coming from Ethiopia. Equally, Ethiopians have best wishes and neighborly care for their compatriots in Egypt and Sudan. We have all the intention to live together in peace and cooperate for our mutual benefit. The GERD demonstrates these core principles for collective well-being, prosperity, and regional integration. Ethiopia has 70% of its population under the age of 30. More than 100,000 people are graduate from higher education, and 30 million Ethiopians are in school. It is an imperative, therefore, to cater the growing need for this population. Finally, Ethiopia believes that an agreement is within reach and given the necessary political will and the commitment to negotiate in good faith. We have already reached an understanding on a considerable number of issues. So the African Union is the right platform to deal with this kind of issue, to really bring a conducive environment for faithful negotiation. Thank you very much. I can now you can ask me your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Ray Bushafra from Sky News Arabia. Today session, most of members of Security Council, they talk about the solution that come to satisfy all the parties of the conflict, Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt. Which kind of solution do you think, in your point of view, will come to satisfy all the parties? Thank you.
Thank you for that question. It's actually solutions that satisfies the three countries. The negotiating parties' solutions that works for all of us is very important. So we are working towards that. To look into rules and guidelines that could be concluded that works well for everyone in a win-win cooperative that is based on equitable and reasonable utilization without causing significant harm.
Egypt and Sudan, they are accusing Ethiopia that you don't want any kind of solution, and you just go into unilateral steps without consulting the other parties. Thank you.
No, it's the other way around actually. We always go to negotiation with solution. We take a draft rules and guidelines agreement to put it on the table, and these parties always disrupt. In fact, during the last 9 meetings, they disrupted. Ethiopia has never disrupted any meeting. Wanted always to continuously engage and so on. And we have seen already a solution at hand for first feeling since about 1 year, but the parties didn't want to conclude that first feeling agreement. It would give us more time actually to negotiate the more complex issues of comprehensive agreement.
Ethiopia said in different statements, Ethiopian officials, that this is a matter of sovereignty and that you also have more plans for more dams on the river in the future. Are you still considering this matter as a sovereignty matter to Ethiopia and nothing else? And what about the future plans on other dams?
Well, Ethiopia has future needs, current needs and future needs. Currently, as you know, 65 million people are without electricity, but if you go further downstream, 100% access to electricity. Hydropower is one of the solutions. If you take drinking water, about 25 million people are without access to clean water in Ethiopia. We have to drink water. We have to treat and then provide solution for our people. So that is what it implies. We have to establish secured food production. We cannot continue to migrate everywhere in the world. We have to really produce adequate food, supply adequate water, supply electricity, and create jobs. As I indicated, 70% of 150 million are under 30 years. These people should have a future. We have to establish that future.
Mr. Minister, James Bays from Al Jazeera. You said in the Council that you felt that an agreement at the AU was something that you could reach. Why then at the moment do you not suspend the filling of the dam as a gesture of goodwill to get those negotiations going again?
Thank you for raising that question. I know currently all dams in the Nile Basin are filling. The reason being, it's a rainy season, July, August, and September, bountiful water. In fact, it is creating problems by creating havoc in the form of flood. It's a real opportunity, actually. GERD provides that opportunity of protecting against flood. There is no really an issue. Second, when you see it from Ethiopian context, we contribute 77 billion cubic meter to the Nile. It's only fair to take 13.5 to fill our dam. We are not building African white elephant, not to fill the dam, but actually fill and operate and utilize it. So it's really logical on issues that matter actually about the operation of the dam in future. We have to come to conclusion. How do we handle if drought occurs? Ethiopia stretching its hand, it will utilize some of its reserve storage actually to help downstream countries so that they will not be harmed by extreme droughts. As long as water is in the reservoir of above certain quantity, we cooperate. That is the way to go actually. Not prevent Ethiopia's investment from meager resource we have at hand, contribution of all poor people in Ethiopia working around the dam to realize the opportunity. So it doesn't harm anybody. Believe me. It's also the right of Ethiopia because we contribute 77, taking 13.5 is not a real issue. It is well within the limit of Ethiopia's equitable share.
ሰላም እንዴት ናችሁ? የልጆች እናት ወይንም አባት ሆናችሁ የሙሉ ጊዜ ስራ እየሰራችሁ ከልጆቻችሁ ጋር በቂ ጊዜ ማግኘት ላልቻላችሁና ከቤት ውስጥ ሆናችሁ ልትሰሩት የምትችሉት ጥሩ ገቢ ሊያስገኝ የሚችል ስራ ለምታፈላልጉ ወይንም ደግሞ የሙሉ ጊዜ ሰራተኞች ሆናችሁ ተጨማሪ የገቢ ምንጭ ሊያስገኝ የሚችል ስራ ለምታፈላልጉ አንድ ቢዝነስ ላስተዋውቃችሁ ነው የመጣሁት። ስሜ ፌቨን ይባላል። የምኖረው በአሜሪካን ሀገር ቴኔሲ ስቴት ውስጥ ነው። ስራዬ ደግሞ የሶፍትዌር ዲቨሎፐር ነኝ። ይሄ ላስተዋውቃችሁ የመጣሁት ቢዝነስ የኦንላይን ስራ ነው። በየትኛውም ቦታ በየትኛውም ሰዓት ልትሰሩት የምትችሉት ስራ ነው። ምንም አይነት የተለየ የኮምፒውተር እውቀት አያስፈልገውም። ምንም አይነት የማርኬቲንግም ሆነ የቢዝነስ እውቀት አያስፈልጋችሁም። ምክንያቱም ስራውን ለመጀመርም ሆነ ለመስራት የሚያስፈልጋችሁ እውቀት በሙሉ በትሬኒንግ ውስጥ የተካተተ ነው። ይሄ ትሬኒንግ በቪዲዮ የተደገፈ ቀላል ተደርጎ የተዘጋጀ ትሬኒንግ ነው። እንዲሁም የራሳችሁ ደግሞ ኮች እና ሜንቶር ይመደብላችኋል። የትኛውም ጥያቄ ሲኖራችሁ እነሱ መጠየቅ ትችላላችሁ። ይህንን ስራ በአሁኑ ሰዓት ከ50 ሺህ ሰው በላይ በተለያየ አገር እየሰራው ያለ ቢዝነስ ነው። ይህን ቢዝነስ ስትሰሩ ጥሩ ገቢ ከማግኘታችሁም በላይ ደግሞ ጥሩ እውቀት የምታገኙበት፣ ፐርሰናሊታችሁን የምታሳድጉበት፣ እርስ በርስ መረዳዳት መደጋገፍ ያለበት ቢዝነስ ስለሆነ ከሌሎች የኦንላይን ነገሮች ላፕቶፕ ወይም ስልክ እና የኢንተርኔት ኮኔክሽን ናቸው። ይህ ስራ ህጋዊ የሆነ ታክስ የሚከፈልበት ስራ ነው። የመጀመሪያ ስቴፕ ይህንን ስራ ለመስራት የ90 ደቂቃ ነፃ የሆነ
Mr. Minister, the ambassadors of Russia and France, they expressed, their view that their countries can help to facilitate the discussion between the three parts. Yeah, Russia and France. In the Security Council, they expressed that their countries, they are willing to help to close the gap between the three parts. What's your comment on that?
We don't have problem. Anybody can come with solution and advise any country, individually or collectively. We don't have with this kind of support coming from our partners. But we are negotiating in actual negotiation. We are handling the issue in a rule-based, according to the declaration of principle, in a faithful manner, in non-aggressive way. So we are moving forward. The world has a lot of experience. We are not building the first dam in the world. Europe has thousands of dams. US, Africa has very good experience and best practices in managing river basins like Niger, Limpopo, Zambezi, Senegal. We can draw experience from those rivers and live in peaceful manner so that we can develop rule-based policy.
Abdullah Imasi from Al Hurra. My question is, what are Ethiopia's options if Egypt and Sudan insist on making the issue before the upcoming Security Council sessions?
Say it again, please. Can you repeat?
What are Ethiopia's options if Egypt and Sudan insist on making the issue in front of the Security Council in the next
Security Council
sessions?
is not a place for this kind of negotiation. As I explained, it's the first case, the water resource development case. Water resource development case is not the issue of the Council. The Council is looking into issues of security and political issues. Here, we have a development project. Most of the Council members actually emphasize that we go back to African Union, lead negotiation, conclude result on faithful negotiation.
Are you still willing to collaborate with the African Union?
Absolutely. We are working on that. We have never boycotted the African Union meeting.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
አንበሶች አፋችሁን ማዘጋት ወላ ነጫጩባ እየገባሽ በግራ በቀኝ ብትወጣጥሪ መፍትሄ የለም። በር ተዘግቷል። አባይ ተሞልቷል። ይሞላል፣ ይሰራል፣ ያልቃል። እኛም ከኩራዝ እንወጣለን። እኛም ከሻማ ችብቸባ እንወጣለን። ግብጽ ትቃጠላለች። አባይ የኢትዮጵያ ነው። አባይ የኛ ነው። ግድቡ የኛ ነው። እኛ ላባችንን እያንጠባጠበን ያዋጣን ገንዘብ ደማችን የተቀላቀለ ነው። አባይ በአባይ አንቀልድ። እኛ ለፍተን ደክመን ነው አባይን ወገኖቻችን እየገነቡልን ያለው እነሱ አይደሉም። በነፃ የተሰራ ወይም የሚቀለድበት አይደለም ማለት ነው አባይ ማለት። ስለዚህ በአባይ ቀልድ የለም፣ አይኖርም፣ አንቀልድም። ምድረ ቦትራፋ ገብታ ለምትንበጠረቅና ለምትንቦተረፍብን አንሰማቸውም። አባይ የኢትዮጵያ ነው። አባይ የኛ ነው። ግድቡ የኔ ነው። ደማችን አለበት አባይ። በአባይ አንቀልድም፣ ቀልደንም አናውቅም። አባይ የኛ ነው። እኛ እየተራብን ሄዶ የጠገቡትን እያጠገበ ኖሯል አባይ። አሁን ግን የለም የለም የለም። መስሪ ዝም በይ። የለም የለም። ግብጽ ዝም በይ። ከነስምሽ ራሱ አትመችኝም። መስሪ ቻዩ እንግዲህ ዋጣርቂ የኔ እናት ቻዩ 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 ቻዩ። ሳውዲም በወገኖች እንደቀለድሽ ብትንጨረጨሪ ወገንን ብታባረሪ ችግር የለውም። የገቡት ወደ ሀገራቸው ነው። ያልፋል። የማያልፍ የለም። እያንዳንድሽም ትላንትና ከኢትዮጵያ ነው ለምነሽ በልተሽ የወጣሽው። ሳውዲ የለ ምን የለ ምን የለም። ምድረ ጥገኛ ሁላ አሁንም ዳግም የኢትዮጵያ እጅሽ ላይ ላለመውደቅሽ ምንም 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 ዋስትና የለሽም የትኛይቱም ሀገር። ስለዚህ አባይ የኛ ነው። ግድቡ የኛ ነው። ኢንጂነሮቻችን፣ ዶክተሮቻችን አሁን ፊት ለፊት መጥቶ የሚያሳምኑ ብቻ ሳይሆን ከዚህ ፊትም ያለፉት የሞቱት በዛ ውስጥ እየሰሩ ህይወታቸውን ያጡት ወገኖቻችን የነሱ ደም የተቀላቀለበት ነው። በአባይ አንቀልድም። አባይ 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 ዝም አንልም። ቀድሞ የተዜመልሽ ቀድሞ የተዘመረልህ አሁን እንግዲህ እኛን ቀስቅሶናል። ስለዚህ በሉ ቻሉ ቻሉ ቻሉ። ምስሪ ቻዩ ቻዩ፣ ሱዳን ቻዩ ቻዩ። ምንም መፍትሄ ምርጫ የለም። መቻል ብቻ ነው። መቻል ነው እንግዲህ ቻሉት። ቻሉት እንግዲህ ቻሉት ቻሉት ቻለው 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 እንደተባለው ነው ቻለው። በሉ ቻሉ ቻሉ ቻሉ። እንግዲህ ምን ይደረጋል? ቻሉልን ቻሉ በደንብ
ያጫውቱ 29 ስል ከትናንት ወዲያ 14